First thing I do is make my Great Wall of Algebra. Looking at this, I look to see if there's any distributing. Remember, distributing has parentheses, and I see parentheses over here, so I'm going to distribute 7. That means I'm going to multiply 7 times negative 2, which is negative 14. Then I'm going to multiply 7 times negative 4x, which gives me negative 28x. Because I've distributed, I do not have to write the parentheses. I can now bring down everything else, so don't forget that plus 4x. Over here, I'm going to bring down minus 8x minus 14. Now, I'm going to look on each side to see if there are any like terms. Over here, I have an 8x and a 14. I cannot combine them. Over here, I have a 14, but I have a negative 28x and a positive 4x. I can combine those. So negative 28 plus 4 gives me negative 24x. Bring down the minus 14. Bring all this down. My next step says move the variable. I have a variable here, and I have a variable here. I want to try to get rid of the negative, so I'm going to take the smaller number. Negative 24 is the smaller one. Put the entire term in a shipping box. The opposite of minus 24x would be plus 24x. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. These cancel out. I'm left with minus 14 over here. Minus 14. Minus 8 plus 24 gives me positive 16x. My next step says add or subtract to get rid of the constant. Well, I want him to stay over here because I want my variables by themselves. So I'm going to do the opposite of minus 14 or negative 14, which would be positive 14. These cancel out. These negative 14 plus 14 gives me 0, but I'm going to write that 0 down because I have to have something on this side. Equals positive 16x. I'm going to divide by 16. Divide by 16, and x is going to equal 0. First thing I'm going to do is make my Great Wall of Algebra. Look for distributing. Remember, distributing has parentheses. There is none. I'm going to look to combine like terms. Are there any like terms? No. Any like terms? No. So then I'm going to move the variable. If I have a variable on both sides, I have to move. I'm going to move the smaller one. Positive 4 is smaller than positive 7. So if it's positive and I want to move him to the other side, I'm going to do minus 4x. Minus 4x. Those cancel out. I'm left with a 1 over here. 7x minus 4x gives me positive 3x. I haven't used this negative 5, so I'm going to bring it down. I've moved the variable. Now I look to add or subtract to get rid of the constant. Here's the constant, and I have a minus 5. I want to get him over on the other side, so I have to add 5. If I add 5 to one side, I add 5 to the other. These cancel out. 1 plus 5 is 6 equals positive 3x. Now I multiply or divide to get rid of the coefficient. So I'm going to divide by 3. Those cancel out. X equals 2.